asked if anybody had been using Claude or any of the LLMs. I suspect everyone in this room is probably using an LLM. But can I get a show of hands for people who are using ChatGPT currently? Okay. What about Gemini? Okay. And what about Copilot? Okay. And Claude? Okay, most number of hands. Is anybody here paying for Claude? Okay. For those of you who are paying with Claude, have you experimented with any of the other features in Claude, like co-work, code, design?
I spend most of my time on code.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, co-work, design, but I don't feel like I know it well enough, but I have been using it.
Okay, interesting. Well, today we're going to go a little bit back to first principles in that case, because I'm not sure that given your level of understanding, if we're going to be sufficiently advanced enough in today's class, but we'll do what we can. I'm glad that all of you who brought a laptop. This was unexpected but pleasant, because it means we can actually have some fun. I'm going to share this landing page here. I am asking my Claude to update this landing page with QR code, so you can all look at it. So it's going to take a couple of seconds. But in the meantime, so for those of you who've used ChatGPT and Claude, anyone noted any differences between the two or how they use them? I know you already gave me some ideas on how you're using it, but does anyone else here have things they want to say about what they like about Claude, what they like about ChatGPT, how they use them, if they're using both of them? Please.
I mean, I just find it very interesting, like, to observe like how the different companies develop different things and then they launch it. Like, I was really surprised, for example, a few weeks ago, like how good is the image generation suddenly with ChatGPT, and then on the other side there is Claude Design, which is incredibly usable since they have launched it. But it's like, I think it's always like these steps, and suddenly they have developed the whole new part that kind of was not there before.
Yeah.
And I think Claude is very, very useful for everything that is connected to coding or like more technical stuff. And I think it is more, for me it was more useful also for academic work, for research and stuff.
Claude is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of my point of view, it's more reliable.
That sort of seems to be where the camps are falling. You've got ChatGPT, which is really, really great at things like image generation, for having two-way conversations. And they've also got a bigger plugin ecosystem. So I don't know if any of you have tried the ChatGPT plugins where you can connect your Spotify account, and you can connect your Booking.com account, and you can start to do these natural language questions like, I need to book a flight to X place, and ChatGPT can basically go through your search using those tools, present you with a bunch of options, summarize to your preferences, and then basically towards the steps, take towards the steps to booking it. Claude, on the other hand, has gone in a completely different direction, because they basically focused on B2B use cases, business use cases, which is why you see that, for example, Claude Code and Claude Cowork are really focused on being able to produce business quality output. So Cowork is all about being able to produce really great design documents, so PDFs, slide decks. Actually, this document that I'm showing you right now is also produced using, let me see if I can get this refreshed. There we go. There's a QR code. Please scan it. You can open this on your phones. I should have thought about you opening on a laptop. But if you want the URL, it's this right here. So I guess the broader point is that it doesn't really matter which one you use. I think they're all sort of converging to a place where they're both useful for a set of tasks. And I think you kind of just need to find your way and figure out which one you like best for which use case. So in the case of your academic documents, having discovered that Claude produces better output, or for example, having discovered that the ChatGPT is much better with image generation. What I want to do is, is everyone comfortable having opened the URL?
Is it UCL desk that we're using?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a really important first step.
Yeah,
Let's all connect to the Wi-Fi. And when you're ready, we can keep going. And in the meantime, I wouldn't mind figuring out how to turn these lights off.
Yeah.
Because they're like really hot.
I think it's just it. I think
I got lights across the whole room. Yeah, it's just these lights. You try. That'd be a horrible roll. No? Okay. Maybe I'll come over with a tan at the end of the room. Is everyone logged in?
We don't
No.
have a way to turn it off? What about at the front? In your dashboard there, in front of you? No? No switches there. By the way, shout out to Jai who has saved our whole working group because I thought the syllabus would be streamed on YouTube videos and then we found out really last minute that they were all text-based. So it would have been really tricky to go through a lecture series with text-based content. So Jai stepped in and our friends from Turing College to save the day and provide this working group.
Thank you for
us.
having me.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Bear with me.
You know, very little time to turn this around and put this together for us. So thank you so much for
Thank you for
stepping in.
the
And-
shout out.
Yeah.
And
now we're roasting him with the lights too.
it's true, I feel like I'm on the roasting rack. I am delivering this for the first time, so bear with me while I kind of find my feet with it. The group here is also a lot more advanced than I probably expected, so which is good, because it means maybe we can go a little bit faster. But just to give you guys a little bit of background, I've been immersed in the world of AI probably for the better part of 2 years. I actually resisted AI when ChatGPT was first launched in 2022. I was like, screw this AI thing, man. I'm gonna waste like another tech innovation, like what else? But I was in a job at the time that I wasn't very good at. I really sucked at that job, and like I wasn't getting any help. I had no like, my manager didn't care, and my peers and my colleagues were like, whatever, man. We don't have time to help you. We're too busy. So I was like, well, I've been hearing about this AI thing, so let me try it out. So I started to produce consulting proposals in ChatGPT, and they were passable. Like I could go in front of a client with them, and I could talk about the proposal, and I could usually progress an opportunity. Then Claude came out a few months later with I think at the time it would have been Opus 3, and the output got better, and my proposals got better, and I started having more opportunities. And a few months later, as Claude improved and my ability to do my job improved because the LLM was teaching me how to do my job, I was winning deals. And by the time I left that business, I was the top performer of my team. So for me, AI has been a big success story. coming from initially being a complete skeptic. So, which is sort of why I wanted to join Turing College, because what we do is we build education courses in data and AI. We bring in people from tech companies to teach people in corporates how to use AI more effectively in their day job. And given where this whole AI shift is going towards being able to use AI, being proficient with AI, being able to augment what you do with AI, I think it's an absolutely critical skill that everyone should know. And there's a ton of content out there. There's so much content out there that not everyone has the time to look through it all. And quite frankly, a lot of it is also junk. So what we've done is we've distilled it into several curriculums focused on specific skill sets, data and AI, so data analysis or automations or whatever. And we've made it really, really structured and really, really logical. And we've cut out all the fluff. And we've got people who are teaching those courses who understand how the tech works, how it can be pushed, how it can be pulled, what the use cases are and how they can be applied to almost any job. So for me, this feels like a really noble pursuit, because essentially I get to teach better stuff. And I think, when people talk about, AI taking jobs and whatnot, I think the first step to countering that is just understanding how to do it. Right? AI is not taking anyone's job if they know how to use it. So you're all here. I think you will believe this. Has everyone managed to log in? Yeah? So just a very quick recap, differences between ChatGPT and Claude. Claude, better for business use cases, and ChatGPT better for multimedia use cases and more B2C use cases. That's kind of how I tend to see it. I guess all of you are familiar with prompting. Does anyone here feel like they're really good at prompting? No? Does anyone here feel like they're at least proficient in prompting, that they're able to get what they want out of AI? You are? Okay.
I think so. I mean, I don't know, but it feels like that I'm at least able to get 50-60% of the task done.
Say again?
At least 50-60% of the task that I am doing, like I'm able to get it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you're prompting with AI, when you're trying to get a task done, what's your approach? How do you go about doing that?
So initially, I started, started writing like longer prompt, because everywhere you go they tell you to write this, and that. But then I started, using it as a conversation, and I think I started getting better result as I started conversing with it as compared to those longer prompts. So I don't know, that's my learning.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because where I think a tool like Claude really shines, and actually all LLMs to that extent, is being able to help you iterate the prompt that you want. So there are some basics, right? And your basics are you need to be clear about what you want. You need to be clear about your objective. What is the desired outcome? You should be clear about what you don't want. So, if you're trying to produce a presentation for a group of executives, you want it to be concise, you want it to be clean, you want it to be sharp. Also tell it what you don't want it to be. Give it an idea of what good looks like. What good looks like could be anything you want. It could be a website you've seen, it could be a deck you've seen. You can feed it this context. You can either explain it by chat, or you can upload this stuff. You can upload a deck that you've seen, that you really like, or a website you've seen that you really like, and say, this is the direction I want to go in. And what Claude does really, really well in this context, in particular, that I think it does really well, is the ability to interview you. So when you want to iterate towards the creation of a prompt and with an output, some of you will have noticed that Claude will start to ask you questions after you've given it a prompt, and it will give you a series of options. So let's see if we can. Let's see if we can do this here. It's going to let me log in. It's funny that I'm talking about AI. I can't even use a Windows PC.
No worries. Happens to the best of us.
Let's see if this works. Well, you know what? Let's see if we can do this with the free version.
Do you want to, should I log
I'm-
in with mine?
Does yours work on here?
I
I
think
don't
so.
think it did, but I think what we can all do is if everyone opens up Claude on their computer.
Browser or desktop?
Either or, doesn't matter. Is everyone open?
Go along.
Yeah? Okay. So give it an instruction. I want you to create or build or write.
Is it chat or on
Chat. Yeah. Let's stick to chat. We'll cover design and co-work and code in later sessions.
I want you to create a flyer for the Women in Tech AI working group.
Great example. And then you can basically say to it, ask me clarifying questions to refine what this document should look like. And only begin once we've agreed on what it should look like. So put all that into your prompt, and what you'll see is Claude will start to interview you and ask you questions. That's all right.
Yeah, ask
Ask me clarifying
define
questions.
what this document should look like.
Ask me clarifying questions to refine the approach. Any variation of this, right? I mean, you can basically buy this stuff. The clearer you are, the better and faster it will be, but anyone can buy this stuff. One question I should have asked, who here is paying for their subscriptions? Okay, good. Because the reality is that to get the most out of these tools, you will need to be paying. Like the free version just won't get you very far. Yeah? You know, in the meantime, I'm going to see if I can log in over here. We can do this, we can screen share this. Open sesame. Great. All right. Okay. Nice. Who wants to give me a prompt?
build them
Let's
up.
do this together. Let's make this a group effort.
Build
We
it
can
up.
Frankenstein and prompt
Build a
together.
website for women in tech.
Okay.
Job.
Build a website for women in tech. What else?
Job training classes.
On Claude training classes. The group. This will be for a mixed group of attendees with varying levels of exposure. Cool. What do you suggest I build into this?
Yeah.
Has anybody else gotten further along than I've gotten? Just being interviewed by the questions.
So my first prompt included the ask me clarifying questions, refine approach. So I haven't seen anything else apart from the clarifying questions.
Say again?
My first prompt included the ask clarifying questions to refine the approach.
Yeah.
So it hasn't even said anything, it's just asking me questions.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's us as well. With the
Yes, you got that
slide.
pop-up, right?
Yeah,
You've got the pop-up with the individual, you can select 1, 2, or 3, or multiples,
yeah.
and each one you select will iterate towards what you want to build.
Yeah, and then there's more questions.
It's very slow. Although I suspect conceptually you're going to get that. No, I was saying I suspect that conceptually you'll probably get it though, right? Let's see, this is going to take its time.
Is it the Wi-Fi, do you think, on your end?
No, it's this, I'm trying to connect this to this.
Ah,
so I
that,
can-
is that why the...
I don't know. I don't know why it's doing this. Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping I could connect the laptop and work off of my laptop. Anyone got any examples of prompts they've done that they really, really liked, where they really got a great output out of it? And what they did to get there?
I haven't used this in my day-to-day work, but I've heard that it's really helpful if you say, put together a branded strategy as if I was the CMO of this company, and, you know, write me a document with brand guidelines and themes and font, and, you know, like you prompt it,
Yeah.
but with, do this as if I am this.
Okay, so giving it a role.
Yeah, giving it a role.
So, and what role would you give it in that situation?
Depending on what if you're building a financial model, say I'm the CFO of a
Okay.
startup, if you're, you know, a designer,
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
so you kind of, yeah, give it a role, and then it apparently gives you a higher
Yeah.
quality output.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Anybody else tried that?
Mostly role of a consultant.
Yeah, so play the role of a consultant, play the role of a software engineer, play the role of
I like to add a couple of roles.
okay.
I add couple of roles usually.
Say again?
I add couple of roles. Like I like to play couple, like you're not only CMO, you're also a designer, you're also a researcher of the market and blah blah blah. So it does it well.
So you're asking to play all the roles at once?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So like from the different angles, so you produce the result based on the marketing knowledge that you have, based on the design, based on the research of the market, etc., and then it does it.
Okay, and how, and are you, what's the quality of the output you get from that when you do it?
I find it better than just one role specified. But
Okay.
you need to specify which role for what. Like, why do you choose marketing, or why do you choose, I don't know, analytics, data analysis expert?
Okay.
Because there are some tasks that you need to go through with the
Okay.
prompt.
Okay.
So you need to give still guidance.
Interesting. Okay. That's a new one. I've not come across that before.
Actually, I was using like a product manager with like 20 years in marketing and big
So you go really deep.
Yes, with analytics and so on. So it's the same, but you can add him like additional skills.
Okay.
But it was for
So you ask him to be someone hyper qualified with loads of experience, who's been doing something for a really long time.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
basically was one role, but with different kind of like you also analytics and marketing manager or whatever.
Okay.
So it was nice. I
And-
mean, the result was nice.
And you got a better result from that than.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Any other approaches that people have tried where they've gotten really great quality results out of a prompt?
So I use co-work at work.
Okay.
I'm a project manager and I have scale codes every Friday.
Okay.
So I have set up a prompt which essentially updates my scale code pack based on my daily calls. So it uses the transcripts, the conversations and the emails I have. And then I ask it to update every Thursday the scale code pack and then it sends it to my email. So that's worked really well. And then every day after my daily call, I've asked it to send an update of the open risk issues, any updates, and I could just generalize summary to my email and I get that as well.
Cool.
So,
And that's all automated?
yeah. So I don't know if Claude can do the same thing, but
What tool are you using for that?
co-work and co-pilot.
Inside Copilot?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Claude can actually do that. We won't cover that today. But it can do that. You can have that automated loop where it pulls in stuff from multiple sources, synthesizes it, and sends you a report. We'll cover that in later weeks. But what you just said actually touches on something else I wanted to run with you all today, which is the concept of skills. Has anyone come across a skill before in AI?
Just, I've created one and that's
Okay.
it, but I'd like, I really want to know.
Okay, so what's the skill you've created?
It was just a way using a technique to approach like writing emails or something. It was just something
Okay.
really basic.
Okay, so it's a writing skill.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else?
This is from a student perspective, but I've been using skills to, instead of pushing out standard flashcards or just exam questions out of like PDFs, I've been using skills to provide more sort of static or interactive like HTML formats out of my module notes, so I can
Okay.
have that.
Okay, nice. So you've been working on, that sounds like you've been working with artifacts,
Yeah.
which is exactly what this is. This is an artifact. I had that created in Claude, and then I told Claude, put it on my GitHub page, create a URL so I can share it with you all. That's an artifact. So anytime you get an export out of something called out of Claude, it's essentially called an artifact. It's when it starts doing work on the side pane.
The HTML files are
Yeah, an MD file can be an artifact as well. Any file that Claude creates is technically an artifact, including a skill. So if you want to create a skill, you might use Claude. When Claude produces that, it is an artifact.
Can you clarify what the difference between skill and an artifact is?
Yeah, so great question. So a skill is basically a set of specific instructions that tells an LLM how to behave when you ask it to do a specific task. It's a skill, in the same way that you might teach a skill to an individual, and from now on I want you to do that skill like so. So let's say when you got your first job and someone showed you how to create a pivot table in an Excel sheet, for example, that's a skill you learned, and that's a skill you were able to apply to your job every time you had to do that particular analysis. So similarly, we have skills. So let me see if I can show this one here. This is one I've been playing a lot with, which you can all you guys have access to on the landing page. I suspect getting AI to write more like you is probably something that everyone has struggled with at some point. This is what a skill is. Just this. This gives an AI a set of instructions on how to behave. Not too dissimilar from what you've created with your workflow with Copilot Cowork. So someone in the background would have probably done something like this, maybe not in quite as an organized fashion. It could be worth you going back and saying, I want you to create a skill from that workflow. But a skill basically does this. It basically gives your LLM a really specific set of instructions. So how should this be used? What are the rules? And the great thing about this is you can have the AI create the skill. So, for example, I'm in the process of trying to create a skill to help me manage all of my emails and my calendar. So I have a separate agent that looks after my emails and my calendar, that writes my emails for me, and makes sure that my calendar doesn't go crazy and I don't do it myself. It's a fairly straightforward set of instructions that it has to follow, but prior to creating a skill, it would screw up all the time. Like the quality of the emails that it would put together weren't very good. It would sometimes double book on my calendar.
When you say agent, do you mean a project? How have you create an agent in Claude?
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll come to that later.
Okay.
In the meantime, we'll come to that. Consider Claude your agent in this context.
Okay.
Claude is your agent in this context. This skill, or the idea of the skill, is basically just to get it to perform in a uniform way every single time. So, does anyone here have? I think you've given us your workflow that you have with your Claude, with your Copilot Cowork. Does anyone here have any other skills or anything that they do with an LLM on a regular basis that they would like for it to do better? Or that is a fairly straightforward set of instructions that happen on a regular basis? Writing is one, right? So if you write a lot of articles, or if you write a lot of emails, this is a skill that can help with that. It can make an AI sound less like an AI when it writes.
Research sometimes, with citations, it would make up citations. If I don't check this.
So that's a great one. So just to reiterate, when producing summaries or synthesis on research, it sometimes hallucinates and doesn't provide citations. So in a situation like that, you might create a skill and say, every time I ask you to summarize a document or synthesize some research, I want you to give me these sections. It needs to have the abstract, the objective, the summary, etc. And I want to see the citations. And I want to see the citations in your summary. That's a skill.
So just to get this clear, because I'm not a power user of Claude, if I've got Claude browser or desktop, do I go to it and say, write me a skill that when you're writing my emails, don't use these words, or
correct?
Because it's very, and leave the dashes out because that's very.
We'll talk about that separately.
And then you have a way of always tapping that skill whenever it's doing the email.
Correct.
Okay.
Now the challenge you'll have on the free version is that, or on the basic version, well, on the free version, on the basic version, is you'll have to upload that skill every time you want to work.
Okay, okay.
Whereas in Claude, whereas a way to add skills, and I saw someone's hand go up at the back of the room here. So if we go to settings, capabilities, skills, so it moved in. Here you go. And here you can add a skill. They've got some pre-created skills here. But if you want to create your own, you can have Claude create the skill with you, so it'll interview on the skill. So, when this hopefully works this time, I want this skill to do exactly what you just described, right? Or what you described in the research papers. And it will ask you questions. Okay, so let's do this. Who wants to give me a skill they want to build? Go on.
Okay, it's quite technical, but I want a skill that helps me with end-to-end testing.
That means end-to-end testing.
Yeah,
Okay. End-to-end testing of what?
a mobile app.
Okay.
That helps with end-to-end.
Yeah, like
Helps.
each time I want to run end-to-end testing, I don't want to have to like write out all the prompts and I just want it to be kind of automated.
Okay. And it's going to ask you clarifying questions, hopefully. Somebody had a question. Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering because like I have all these different projects which kind of are connected to very different people or environments. So can we connect the skills to specific areas? So
Yeah.
like for example, these like type of emails go to this, like catering this target group, and this is for this. Like, can we target it?
So, in that situation, the more sensible thing is to have projects. So, projects we were not going to cover today, but perhaps we can, given that everyone in this room is probably a bit more advanced. We can come to that next.
Okay, yeah.
But projects is just basically a way to create a siloed environment around a particular set of work that you're doing, and you can apply the skill to that project. So
we do the skill in the skill creator,
yeah.
and then you put the skill MD file into the project, or how do you connect it then?
Pardon me?
How do you connect it? Do you put the skill MD into the project, or how do you connect it from the creator?
You ask it.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. You can see here it's got the questions up, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to help you refine and build a skill. I'm going to come out of here just because I want to answer that question. So let's say, let me see what skills have I got here, because I got loads. Okay, here we go.
That's so cool.
This is the anti-AI writing style.
I love it.
We'll see if it works, because the M-dashes thing you mentioned earlier is inevitably going to happen. For some reason, no matter how hard they try, the M-dash is a feature of writing with AI. I need to write a LinkedIn article for my Turing College project. And I've got a Turing College project in here. So now it's going to query my AI writing skill as it begins to produce an article or begin to ask me questions to produce an article for my Turing College.
How does it know without you mentioning?
It knows that I need to write something.
Yeah, and everything linked.
It knows that it's LinkedIn, and the skill has those in there already.
So in your skill, you say whenever it's
Exactly.
writing or LinkedIn.
So did you ask the skill, to trigger?
Yeah,
Did
so
you
my,
say LinkedIn?
my skill says anytime I ask you to write an email, a LinkedIn article, a Substack article, or a report, I want you to use the AI writing skill as you produce that piece of work. And you'll find there are situations in which it will still write like AI, and it could be because the particular situation you're in is not one of those things, right? It's not a Substack article, it's not a LinkedIn article, it's not an email, it's something completely different, and it misunderstood. Then you go back to the skill, and you update the skill.
Could you just have it so it says every time I write something?
Yes, you can.
In the skill, right?
Right.
Without defining what it is.
Whenever you produce any written output, always use the AI writing skill. We've got 3 hands up, and I think yours went up first.
Just quickly, where did you find? Can you show me again
Yeah, it's a
where
good
it
question.
was?
They've made it really hidden. They've made it really hard to find.
Customize.
So if you go to bottom left,
Settings, yeah.
go to, and this is how I find it, yeah? I'm probably making it more difficult for myself. Go
Yeah,
to
no, with
capabilities.
skills, but he had a specific one that said anti-AI writing.
He added already that one.
Oh, you added that
I
in
added
yourself.
it, but
That's why I
want
did
it,
that.
on the landing page that you guys will have access to, there is a writing skill in there for you to download.
Yeah, I already have an MD file with the skills.
Okay.
And I uploaded loads of documents to say this is how I write. So
Yeah.
I gave it examples. But mine's stored locally on my computer as an MD file rather than through this.
Rather than there. The only disadvantage with that,
So again,
the
sorry.
only disadvantage with that is that if you ever access Claude from a computer that's not yours,
Yeah,
it won't happen.
yeah. It's the only way I knew I was self-teaching, and that's the route I went. But this obviously is.
So if you want to upload it, you go to capabilities, customize, and just add it.
And just add it there. Great.
Upload a skill.
Cool. I'll do that now.
That's it.
Thanks. Right, that's why I couldn't
Can I
find it.
also add, there is a very simple function on the chat. So if you, for example, know the name of the skill, you can just put the line, this line on the...
Oh, the forward slash.
And
Yeah,
forward
that's
slash,
true.
yes, sorry. And then you just start typing the name of the skill, and then anything you do, it will refer to the skill. So even though you don't put to the skill instruction all when I'm writing.
There we
Yeah,
go.
here you go, see? And then this is very
That's a
easy.
good point.
Okay, you put the
So
slash
it
and
was-
Yeah, and then the
skill.
name of the skill you want to
Oh,
use.
that's
So-
Are you
cool.
in settings, yeah?
So
Settings and the capability and scroll.
write me a
In any chat.
LinkedIn
Oh, it's so good we are doing this here.
article.
Because I figured out
Differences
So it was.
So then
between ChatGPT,
Settings.
I'm wondering how.
Done.
And then it was down.
No, I was
here.
very inspired
Sure there's no-
by your anti-AI writing and what she said.
That's it.
So I was wondering, is it possible in the skills, can we also add documents? For example, like we smash like a bunch of our own writings.
Yeah.
So it immediately use the way how we communicate or,
Not directly. What you could do is you could reference it.
okay, like,
So
and
in-
then in the co-work, like it
Exactly.
can access the folder.
Exactly. So when you're writing stuff for me, this is the skill that gets used. If it's a sales-related email, let's say, make sure you update my CRM, and
Yeah.
there's a link to the CRM in the skill.
Okay,
Or
I see.
please refer to this project folder if I ask you about this project, and it will go into that folder and refer to that project.
Okay,
So you
that's
can do that.
amazing.
So at the bottom or wherever in the skill, you can have multiple. So let's say you're working on 6 different projects.
Yeah.
You can have 6 different links to those 6 different projects in your skill, and it will refer to those.
That's amazing.
And you know,
So if you put it on the project,
to make this really
you
easy,
even can access it.
you
from
guys
any-
can basically
any
just
computer,
use
right?
the AI to write and refine the
You
skill.
can send some
So interview the AI. Why did you screw this up? Why does this sound like an AI? And we'll go back and we'll evaluate why it sounds like AI. Then you'll ask it, how do you fix
For
it?
those who want it.
How do you do this so you don't do it again?
That's really cool.
And it will give you a plan on how to achieve that, and then you ask it to implement it into the skill.
I am still stuck in the not sounding like AI skill, but essentially
It's a tough one.
it is a tough one, and it's important, right? Because no one wants to sound like AI. Yeah, my question was essentially if I copied all my email history pre-AI, when I definitely didn't use it for writing emails to people, and I put that into the skill when I was creating it, could I say make sure my emails sound like this in the anti-AI skill?
Yeah.
And that could feed the root data points, right?
So that's a really great idea. So initially when I began building my personal style guide for AI, I asked it to go through all my emails. Go through my emails and see if you can identify the way in which I write. Come back to me with a set of instructions on how you think I write. I will go through that list, and if I agree with what you've written there, we'll build that skill, or I'll tweak it. So that's a great idea, actually. So one thing you could do right away if you wanted to is just ask the AI, I want to build a writing skill that sounds like me. Go through all my emails to understand the way in which I typically write my emails, and build a skill that is a fingerprint of my writing style.
How do you give access to your email?
So you don't have to go through all the emails.
We're going really fast there. We're actually going to do that next.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Let me take your two questions and maybe we'll move on to that next.
So the skill part, does it only come in the downloaded version? Because I have the web version, it's a paid one, but I can't seem to find it.
You have the paid version of?
The Claude,
okay.
But I can't seem to find the skill section because it doesn't scroll down.
Okay.
Right, so customize, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, so if you go to settings,
yes, capabilities, and scroll to the very bottom. It's just not. There's no scrolling. There's no scrolling.
Oh, it's not scrolling at all?
No, that's
is it desktop?
It is. No, it's not. It's the web version. That's
okay.
weird, actually. I don't know. That's
and if you search,
you can find it. You can search, but
Yeah.
yeah, please.
What? You just need to use these two fingers, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry. Yes.
So it's about safety. When I let the machine access all my emails, all my documents, so tell me about safety. How do I protect myself from and everyone?
There's no answer.
Anything that can go.
So, it's a good question. Is this for you personally, or are you talking in a corporate atmosphere?
Well, mainly corporate. I mean, obviously personal angle as well, but I mean, I'm more worried about work and sharing information that's sensitive or can get me into trouble.
So, there are two answers to that question. The first is in a corporate setting, you probably have limitations on what you can connect anyway.
Yeah.
If they allow you to connect your email to an LLM, it's because they've evaluated it for safety, and you're good to go.
It's a startup, so I'm the one defining what's safe, what's not.
Okay.
Not
So
a giant corporate.
So maybe you need to set the policy up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good question. What we would do is we might limit what's allowed.
Okay,
So,
how do you do that in the system?
So, connectors, this is where you can connect your AI tools. So, or your tools to AI, I should say. And here we have Gmail. Now, you can see here, I'm a bit of a risk taker, because it's always got allowed all to everything. I let it just run wild on my email. So for those who may have just missed that step, this is skills, this is connectors. Connectors is where you can connect all of your AI tools, or all of your tools to AI, I should say. So I suspect all of you have an email account. A lot of you are probably using Gmail.
Jai, why do you use Calendar if Claude can just check your Gmail and book into your
It's faster. It's easier just to send you a link and say, book here. rather than
Okay,
ask.
instead of back and forth around phone.
Yeah, knowing when to use AI and not use AI is probably a setup for a session.
Yeah, when to use it, when to not.
Yeah. We should maybe cover that in one of the sessions.
Yeah.
On that question regarding the compliance and security part, if you have a contract with Claude, for example, for the team, even though it's small startup, you can speak to Claude's team to do specific limitations for you. Let's say you would not, anything you would put in Claude Enterprise or whatever package you have would not be used for any learning on the Claude Anthropic AI. And that would be part of your contract. So you would want to not to put each team member use it separately as a connector, so everything and you control it. You would want to have a contract with Anthropic and then define these rules in advance with them.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think Claude's Anthropic's corporate onboarding includes questions like that.
Yeah, and OpenAI too.
And OpenAI's as well, presumably. So yeah, you know, what are the use cases that you want to allow? What are the use cases you don't want to allow? Are there any tools you're already using where there could be a conflict of interest? So let's say you pay for an education platform. You don't want people using Claude to educate themselves, right? Because you've already got Turing College to do all that for you, right? So let's see if we can do here, for example. Let me disconnect. Well, actually, I won't disconnect, but what you can do is, at least on a personal level, is you can start to limit what tool calls. These are all called tools, right? So within Gmail, within my Gmail integration to Claude, these are my tool permissions. This is what it's allowed to do. So it's allowed to retrieve a specific email thread, list user labels, search email threads. Here, however, it needs approval to write or delete stuff. You can't delete without my permission. So I'm the human in the loop here. I'm surprised because I'm going YOLO and I just let it do whatever it wants. But that's probably a sensible way to set it up.
So when you set it up, you kind of decide, okay, all of this I want to have connected to one hub. Then you choose the apps that you want to, or like all the tools that you want to connect. And then you go through the list and you decide for yourself, like, I want to share, like, this I want to give access, this I don't want to give access.
Exactly. So when you add a tool, let's see if I can find a tool here. Let's add browse connectors.
Is this all the partners, everyone they work with?
Yeah, and you can add custom ones as well. Again, we can cover that in the future and how to do that because it's a bit more technical. But essentially, what you can do is when you add a tool, you can select the permissions you want to give it, and you can start by giving it really limited permissions, and then as you go, it'll ask you if it has permission to do that particular task. So I'll give you an example. Let's say let's make this tool ask first. Please look through my emails for a women in tech event invitation and write an RSVP email.
How polite do you need to be? I mean, using please is with a machine.
I know, right? So I figure if AI is going to take everyone's jobs at some point, at least I want to be in the script books.
There is a study that actually when you're not polite, it gives better answer. OpenAI.
Really?
Like,
It's better when you're not.
Yeah, when you're not polite, when you like say no, do it.
Okay.
Just do it. Be straightforward.
I myself, I'm just scared that I'm very used to being rude. And then,
Yeah, you have to be rude.
No, I'm scared that if I'm rude to AI,
no.
then I'll be rude to everybody else.
No.
So I need to say please, thank you very much.
I read a tweet the other day which said there are two types of people in the world: those that say please and thank you to their AI, and those that don't.
Maybe we should try how the AI's response is if we use please and when we are just straightforward.
But when I get angry, I express my anger. Like, that's not what I asked you to do.
You can say
I'm
please
like,
and
why are you frustrating me?
Oh, say please in all caps. If you're really nice but rude about it, just say please. Just do this. Just like shake the air.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I've seen people be pretty mean to AI.
But mad people.
I mean, there are also the kinds of things that people use AI for, right? People having relationships with AI as well. I don't know.
On ChatGPT, there's like a version that like is free.
ChatGPT, yeah.
Rock is the worst thing.
Rock has a very bad reputation, yeah. You had a question? No? Okay,
Me?
sorry,
No, I was just going to say, never use Grok. Bad rep. No, I've never used it. Bad reputation. Have you?
I'd love to show you how I deploy it, but I can't connect my computer to this. I would love to run you through the chat. Maybe for the next session, I'll be able to plug this in and I'll be able to show you exactly the chat, and you can see exactly what I asked it, how I iterated with it, how I got it to use our branding, how I got all of this stuff in there.
Why do you think Lovable has hacked it and Claude hasn't?
Because Claude isn't building for that. Not yet anyway. So Claude is building for, so,
Thank you so much, sir. Hello, just a little late.
we were just about to take a break actually. So.
Oh, great. Sorry, it took me 3 hours.
No, we're about to take.
Yeah.
Getting a coffee or something. Yeah, I need to score some latte.
Excellent question.
What's the
question?
What's the question?
Yeah,
That was a good
there
one.
is no huge list official
Correct.
It would be nice to understand which kind of file I can use.
That is an excellent question. So the question is, when downloading skills, how do I know that skill is safe? And it's not going to do something it shouldn't do. There's no easy answer to that.
Thank you.
And that's why I personally do not download skills from online unless it's from a vendor that I trust. So.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I was going to say I did one the other day, and Claude scanned it through and said, "Oh, this one looks okay. Doesn't look like there's anything bad in it."
And that's the other approach. So if you really don't think you can replicate the skill, if you really don't think you have the time or the ability to try and replicate a skill that you see that could be very useful to you, ask your AI to look at the skill before doing anything with it and identify if it's nefarious. There are still risks to that. Because there could be something in the skill that still tells the AI, if being evaluated, to behave like so.
Because the skill is a superior instruction
Exactly.
than what you...
Exactly. A skill is a set of instructions that it's meant to follow from end to end. So it's still a risk. You are better off doing one of two things. Either creating the skill yourself. So if you want to read through the original skill and take the key points from that skill and ask your AI to create it without ingesting the skill. Or make sure you only download skills from vendors that you trust.
Could you do a quick Google search for skills? Because we were looking on Google for skills around the email writing, but because we're not used to seeing how skills look, it would be good to see a few more examples.
Actually, you know what? Here, this is what it looks like.
But how can we find skills online? Like essentially, is it just a Google search and you go through?
Ask your AI. Please find me some really great skills from Google that help with X. Or please help me find some really great skills from. Actually, there is one place you can.
Oh, I just saw something. When I downloaded the anti-AI skill, then I downloaded the anti-AI skill that you shared, and Claude just automatically has a prompt that says, "Hey Claude, I just added the anti-AI writing skill. Can you make something amazing with it?" I didn't type that.
I think it gives prompts sometimes. You don't have to type.
It suggested a prompt for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because I downloaded the skill.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really good.
Yeah, so you shouldn't ever need to download skills, and I would really avoid it if you can. I would try creating them yourself. The AI is smart enough to do it, and if the AI has, if your Claude or your ChatGPT has enough information about the work that you do, it has a memory, right, about the stuff that you work on, the projects that you're doing. It already knows your writing style, right, because you've been chatting with it. It should be able to produce a skill that looks like what you want it to do.
Because a lot of us are switching from, say, OpenAI at one point now, we're using Claude more. OpenAI has a lot of insights and knows more about us. How can we gather that data OpenAI has and feed it into Claude now to say, like, is there an easy way to,
There is actually in the settings. Right now,
Of OpenAI?
in a Claude, you have settings.
Oh yeah, you can export your memory, yeah.
From different AIs.
But I think you were asking from OpenAI.
yeah,
from
most of
ChatGPT.
my sort of knowledge hub was in OpenAI.
Then you want to add it into.
Now I'm using Claude a lot more, and I really like it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it'd be good to
OpenAI
have
have locked
some
you out.
way of.
OpenAI have locked you out of that, right?
Wow, have they?
Yeah, they don't make it easy for you to do that. There are open source tools out. Has anyone come across the term open source?
Yeah.
Yeah, open source is basically just a free piece of software that anyone can contribute to make it better, rather than a private piece of software that you pay for. There are open source tools that will do it, and I can point you in the direction of one.
So we have that connect to OpenAI, then it will.
Yeah, you run it on your OpenAI setup, and it basically ingests everything and exports a bunch of documents for you to make it to Claude.
Okay.
So if any of you are interested in that tool, I can share it with you. It's a little bit, okay, perfect. It's a little bit technical to use, and maybe I'll put together a video on how to do it. I'm actually doing it for my wife right now because she's like both of you.
That's why I've
has
still
lived.
from moving from OpenAI to Claude, because I'm like, it's got everything.
Yeah, I know, that's smart. I locked you in. Yeah, fine. I can show you how to do that.
Thank you.
I'll send you the instructions in the file.
We haven't really given you a break, Joe.
That's okay. I
Like,
mean, all good, all good. We can take a break now if everyone wants to, and we'll come back and pick this back up.
Let's check out skills.
Like, I need core. I have like a execution that you. Like, what's different? What does it do?
So, everyone who has, who here, remind me again, who's paying for Claude? Hands up? Oh, almost all of you. Ah, okay. So when you open your Claude, you probably see at the top 3 tabs, right? You've got chat, code, and you also have co-work, right? On your desktop version.
No, I don't have it. Do I need it?
Yeah. So that's the key. So that's the last remaining item on today's agenda. The difference between browser versus desktop Claude, because there is a material difference. If you want to just chat quickly on the fly and ask a question, you can use the desktop, the browser version. If, however, you want to use Claude to do more in-depth tasks, you need the desktop version. Download the desktop version. The desktop version has multiple advantages over the web. Actually, I personally do not even touch the web-based version. The only reason I'm using it today is because I wasn't able to connect my laptop to the IT. Otherwise, we'd be working off of that today. The advantage of the desktop version are all the tool connections, right? And the second is that it can work off of your computer. So, let's imagine on your computer you've got a bunch of files. You've got folders for all of your projects, folders for all of the things that you're working on. Maybe you've got a personal folder with all your personal stuff in it. You've got a work folder with all of your work stuff in it. With the Claude app on your desktop, you're basically able to access those things. You're basically able to tell it, look in this folder at these documents and summarize something for them. So you absolutely want the desktop version if you're not using it already. Also, when you start to build apps, if you're using Claude Code, you will need to use the desktop version because it stores all of its output locally on your hard drive. We'll come to that in a future session. We'll do the code, and maybe we'll build something together to figure out.
For Excel work, is it better to use the desktop version because the web one works really, in a mixed way?
Always use the desktop version. Yeah, unless you're in a hurry, you just need to ask a quick question like, what's the weather in New York?
Yeah.
Don't bother with browsing.
But for Excel and like say, some of the Excel tasks, it's always better to use the desktop version.
Yeah, also because the Excel will be on your desktop. So important limitation, when you try to upload files into Claude, there is a limit of I think 5 megabytes. If you're working off of a really large spreadsheet, you're not going to be able to upload that into Claude. But if the Excel sheet is in a folder on your computer, you can tell it what folder it's in. It can look at that folder and you can open that file without you running into that limitation.
Can you also set up the skill part and everything for Excel the way you do for the writing?
Exactly. So if you have a data analyst skill that is meant to perform a specific set of instructions, or a photographer who's left relations, I know you've got something set up similar to that where it runs through multiple data sources. That's essentially the skill that you've got there.
It's MCP Connect.
We'll come to MCPs on a future session.
But we do have a skill to surface the research. Like
Right.
skill usually used in our case where you repeatable task every time you repeat it, so you just create a skill out.
Exactly. So a skill basically tells it to behave in a certain way. So you use your data analyst skill to evaluate what's in that Excel file and to produce a synthesis that looks a certain way. That is a skill. Has everyone understood what a skill is? Has everyone conceptualized what it is, how it works, why you use them, how to make them? Is that, yeah? I'm wondering if maybe we do like a separate in-depth session on skills or something like that. Because I think understanding how skills work is absolutely critical to getting Claude to work so much better. Like it just becomes a different tool once you figure out how to use skills.
Yeah, I have one more question about security. I have read that if you are using the scope code, it's better to use Firefox and not using Chrome, so it's going to be quite dangerous. Have you heard about this? Or
No, I haven't.
that can
So repeat that again. So
if there are, or there is, I don't know, it's one of the risks that, if you're using desktop version in your notebook, it's better to use Firefox because of security reasons. So it's good to took some file from your browser. I don't know how.
interesting.
Yeah, but I can send you this article.
Okay. Yeah, please do.
So because it's great. They did some tests about that, and it was they took some credentials for the forms.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So the point is that Chrome has security vulnerabilities, which is why you shouldn't use Claude with it. I'm not aware of it, but it's something we can explore. I'll see if I can find out more and come back to you. Are there any other questions? Yes.
So I'm wondering, because I saw just an article that now we can So one problem I have the direct access to the folders in co-work, so I can work on my stuff, and then I have the other projects. And now I read that you can also, from the phone, you can access the co-work on your desktop. Do you know anything about this, how to do that?
With your phone?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm always like, I
would
missed the
love to
half of my projects
I would
then
love
on
to
my
show you
phone
how that
suddenly.
works. It's called Dispatch.
Okay.
If you look inside your Claude app on your desktop, there's a feature there called Dispatch.
Okay.
If you go to Dispatch, it'll explain to you how to set it up.
Okay, where is this at?
Do you use it?
No, I don't, but I
If you click on co-work, inside the co-work function,
Oh yeah, that
and there should be a dispatch
looking
option.
for your desktop. Maybe you have to connect it somehow.
So cool, thank you.
If you're on the free version or the 20 or the £15 version, you may not have access to it. Actually, on the on the £15 version, you should have access to it. You can do it, yeah. You just have, yeah.
So you could have the benefits of desktop just
Exactly. So the cool thing about that is, let's say you start off, I need to create a presentation for a big meeting that's coming up in a week. But you set the document off, and you need to leave the house because you want to go somewhere. And while you're on the tube, you want to be able to update that document and chat with Claude to improve the document while you're in transit. That's where the benefit of dispatch is, because you can basically run a session and connect it to your mobile.
How does that differ from just having the app on your phone?
The app on your phone.
That was going to be my question, because for a document you could just use the app anyway, right?
Co-work is not available on Claude app.
But can you help us understand why co-work would be the better solution than just the mobile app for documents?
So I'm going to introduce you to another term, harness. Has anyone come across the term harness before?
Yeah.
So, a harness is a wrapper. So, ChatGPT and Claude are models, right? You've got Opus and Sonnet are the models. GPT 5.5, 5.4, etc. are the models. Gemini Flash or Gemini Pro are the models. You access them through a wrapper called ChatGPT or called Claude, right? There are two ways to access these models. You can access them through their chat interface, which is the harness, or you can access them through an API, which basically means you plug in a piece of software and you use the models. The software you access the model with is also a harness. So I mentioned OpenClaw at the beginning of this session. OpenClaw is also a harness. Now the reason why co-work is specifically good for creating things like landing pages or presentations or any kind of structured output is because it is designed, the harness, the wrapper is designed to produce that kind of output. It communicates with the model in a certain way to ensure that it can produce output that looks like this. If I had done this in Claude Code or in Claude Chat, this would have been a mess. And it would have taken me a lot longer, and it would have cost me more tokens. Well, it's a subscription. I would have used my subscription with it. So that's the advantage of Claude Code. The reason why you write code and build apps in Claude Code is because the harness is designed for that purpose. That makes sense?
Yeah.
We weren't going to cover this stuff. You have a curious crowd. So today we covered skills. We covered connectors. Is connectors pretty clear to everyone? Maybe on a future session we can cover custom connectors. So we can cover connectors that are not listed in Claude. So if you want to add your own piece of software, how do you go about doing that? We can cover that. So let's say you have a tool, I don't know, maybe you have a piece of software that's not listed inside the Claude app. And we've also covered the browser versus the desktop. I hope today's session has been useful. I think future sessions will basically build on what you've learned here today. So I think the next session is going to be on design, is that right?
Yeah, the next one will be Claude Design.
Which I won't be here for. Someone else will do that.
Oh, just one more point for next week. It will be held at Lumina House, which is a co-working space for women. The address will be posted ahead of time, but unfortunately this room is booked out next week, so we'll be in a different venue, but week 3 and 4 will be back here. But I'll share all that in the next...
What station is it there?
Bond Street.
Oh, Bond.
Yeah, so that will be change next week.
And then, for those of you who do want to go further, and want to learn a little bit more about AI and going really, really deep, we're scratching the surface here, right? And over the next 3 weeks, we'll go into a little bit more depth with Claude, but presumably all of you are probably using more than just Claude at this point. And I think as our jobs change and as the sorts of AI tools that get introduced into the workplace are more than just Claude or Copilot, it's going to be important to understand how multiple tools can be used and how you can use them together. So if any of you are interested, we offer a range of AI training courses. We deliver them through something called the apprenticeship method, which means we can probably deliver them for free or close to free. All our courses are basically led by experts from tech companies who've been using this technology since its inception and understand it probably better than I do. So if you're interested, there's a link there on the landing page that you will have access to register if you're interested.
Is it online or in person?
So everything's online, but
Okay.
it's cohort or one-on-one led, so you'll be with a person.
Yeah.
And there's project work as well, so you have homework to do. The courses are designed around real-world use cases, so all the courses are designed around things that you're actually doing in your day job today, so it's not theoretical. For those of you that don't have the time to do a course or are not interested in that, I'm recommended. Anthropic actually offer free courses online, which are pretty good, through something called SkillJar. So if you just look up Anthropic SkillJar, you'll find this here. And through that you can also get certificates. But you won't have someone there to answer questions if you get stuck. Or to help you with any.
Yeah, these
Parts.
courses are really good ones. And you
These
can-
ones? Yeah. Yeah, they are. So thank you all. I hope this has been helpful.
Yeah.
If we see all of you again at the next one, we'll organize the level of the session to be a little bit more in tune with what everyone's skill level is here. I feel like everyone was a little bit more advanced today, but I hope it was still helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.